All right. We should be live. All right, y'all. How are you all today? If you are live, comment live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. Make sure we're good. Yay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. We're in, and I'm excited to talk with y'all today. Panel, can y'all hear me okay? Y'all can hear me? Good. Okay, perfect. All right, everyone. So those of us who are able to catch this live, we are here to have a conversation with my amazing clients. Some of them, they're still family. They know that. They know that. They will always be family. They will always be family. But thank y'all so much for being a part of my world. My name is Coach J. For those of you who are new to my channel and new to this profile, we are going to have a conversation to my business coaching clients. These ladies and one patriarch has been a part of my world for a very long time. And I just wanted to provide you all with some substance, because I know that these days, with things being the way that it is in so many ways, that so many people are still trying to figure out, is this the right time for me to grow my business? Is this the right time for me to invest in something that I truly, truly care about? And it really is a such thing. And I know this sounds really cray-cray, but this really is a such thing as operating by a different kingdom protocol. And so when you are operating by way of what society wants you to operate, you will always be under their prompting, their storyline, and their timeline, when you have been called higher to do something different and do something amazing. And as I go over and over with my clients, is that when you are doing the Father's business, poverty is not even a part of the formula. It's not a part of it. It's not a part of it. So I have 4 of my amazing clients who have been in the Matriarch different times. Some came in through the beta program. Some of them recently joined as recent as this year. But nevertheless, I'm so glad I have Miss Melissa here. I have Sasha, I have Sharita, and I have one of our patriarchs, Ernest. So, but thank you all for being here. I know that people are kind of trickling in. So live, comment live. If you're watching the replay, definitely comment replay. So we're just going to get started and jump right in. And y'all can either raise your hands if you want to talk first, because I know it's a panel. So we have to kind of make sure that we're, not talking over each other. However, the first question I want to ask you all is, what was the state of your business when you first came or even considered joining the Matriarch? And anybody can go. Anybody?
Broke.
You know what? I'm gonna call. Let me call up. Let me call up. Ernest, you go first, since you the only, if you the man up in here.
I was in a state of broke,
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's all right. It was in a state of I ain't got it. In a state of confusion about, what are the steps I'm supposed to take in order to execute on a sale, right? I didn't understand what it meant to drive sales. And the thing is, my business had always been a side hustle. So I had been working and then doing this thing on the side, and I made the decision to dive in full time without clarity and understanding of what is that. Dive in full time without clarity and understanding of what is that. Dive in time without clarity and understanding. All right. So I made the decision, but I didn't build the understanding. And so I saw somebody who I have a ton of reverence and admiration for start to promote an opportunity to learn from her, along with a collective of incredible businesswomen. And I said, well, hey, wait a minute, listen, maybe I don't belong, but hopefully you would be open to the idea of allowing me to participate, because I knew it was something I would need desperately.
I love that. I love that. 𝘱𝑟𝑒𝑡𝑎, you want to go next?
Sure. So for me, the state I was in was a little bit like Ernest, like in confusion. I had been in business for quite some time, maybe about 5 or 6 years. And since my last coach had retired from publishing, I needed to find someone to help me to understand not just publishing, but understanding business as a whole, because I had a certain mentality about business and learning the skill of sales. I didn't really take sales in my company serious. And so I was like, you know what? I need to grow this thing to a certain standard and where I wanted to go. So that's where I was. I was stuck. I was, confused. I was lacking resources as well as the accountability that I needed to push forward.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna have to come back around to what you said about didn't take sales seriously, because that's a big one. That's a big one for a lot of us. What about you, Melissa?
Yes, hello. So for me, where I was at, I had never taken a coaching course program ever. And one of my dear sister friends, I'll give her a shout out, Paris Scott, she actually introduced me to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, yeah, she's like legit, she's solid, you got to check her out. And I was actually seeking out coaches, and I had been to a couple, and then, then I found, and then I just remember seeing Paris's face pop up as I was doing the seeking. And I was like, that's weird. And when I talked to her, she mentioned you. And I was like, all right, if that ain't the Holy Spirit, I don't know what is. So that kind of led me. But before, where I was at was I was doing websites for, pennies pretty much, basically volunteering my work and just, I had no idea about anything regarding like how to really price things, no sales experience, never been a saleswoman, whatever. So it's been definitely, that's where I was, didn't know what I was doing. So I needed some help.
I love it. Thank you, Melissa. What about you, Sasha, and all that pink? I love it.
Hi. So where I was in my business, oh my gosh, it was horrible. I was confused, just like everybody else said. I wasn't sure how to move forward. There's times where I wanted to quit. There's times when my parents told me, look, it's time for you to go back to corporate America. This little business thing ain't working out for you. So I just, I remember, I think I was the one that added Coach Jane. And you're gonna laugh, but the reason why I added you, because I liked your profile picture. I had no clue you were even a business coach. And then you were going live one day. I was like, oh, she's a business coach. And it was like a topic that really drew me in. And I can't even remember what the topic was, but it was about, something about business. So I watched and it just spoke to me. And I was like, you know what? And I watched more of your lives, like past lives. I was like, I want to work. I want to work with her. And I think at that time you were promoting like a workshop. And I was like, I was almost going to get it, but I was like, I want to be in something more long-term. So that's when we came out with the Matriarch. I was like, oh, this is perfect. Perfect. So yes.
I love that. I love that. I thank y'all so much for that. That was amazing. I want to go back to something 𝘱𝑟𝑒𝑡𝑎 said that I thought was very key, and didn't take sales seriously, right? Like, we know what to do. We got the skill set to deliver, but when it comes down to acquisition, bringing people into our world, that's where a lot of us kind of trip ourselves up. So I'm going to start with Melissa, and I'm going to go to 𝘱𝑟𝑒𝑡𝑎. 𝘱𝑟𝑒𝑡𝑎, you'll be after Melissa. So Melissa, sales, right? What helped you to overcome that fear of sales?
I think for me, one of the biggest things was lack of confidence and like that imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. No one's gonna buy from me. A lot of it was mindset. Like, I was holding myself back from what's already mine, like what's already in me, like God has already given me the gifts to do it and just to be able to carry it out. So for me, it was lack of confidence. I didn't have the confidence to be able to, like, again, I didn't think I knew what I was doing. So when I was reaching out to them, I'm like, man, they're not going to want this. Like, who am I? There's other people that are better than me. Someone else has the same product and they're going to want that. They're going to want theirs over mine. So it was always me holding myself back. But confidence was the biggest thing that I had an issue with. It's just not believing in myself. So being in your program really has helped me with my mindset and a lot of that rewiring, reprogramming. It's all about program. You're always, saying, hey, what are you listening to? Are you listening, like, all your books, creating money and, how to get rich. Like, there's all these things you need to be listening to. And if you're listening to people that are like, you need to stay in corporate America or you need to stay on your 9 to 5, like, that's what you went to school for that. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're not gonna do that for the rest of your life? Not knowing that there's actually a bigger plan out there for me. But yeah, confidence, and it was me that held myself back.
All right, 𝗏𝘂𝗵. Thank you, Melissa.
So I would say, to answer the question, to be honest, I knew what to do with sales. It was like that analysis paralysis, like, okay, you know what to do, but why won't you do it? So it was being in a program really helped me with the mindset. Because I'm gonna be honest, before coming into the program, mindset was not a part of my like everyday life, even as a businesswoman. Yeah, every now and then you do your, your affirmations and all that good stuff, but really taking into account what you're putting in your mind and what I was saying to myself about sales. And I had to really shift my mind that sales is really serving, because I have something that people need, that my audience needed, but they needed to see me. And I think I heard you say this, is that many times is that people are not just going to come to you. And I had that mentality that people just going to flock to me. They're just going to, when they see me, they're just going to flock to me. But I had to say, okay, regardless, every single day, you got to put that value out there. Because number one, you don't know who's going to see you. You don't know who's going to refer you. You don't know. So because you don't know, you got to operate as if you do know. Like, so every day you got to show up and say, okay, somebody new is going to see me. So let me do this new thing and get out of my comfort zone, because I have these people to serve. So you really helped me to shift my mindset around sales and how I show up, and not looking at it as I got to sell people, when I really have people to serve.
And that's so true, because I tell people, I say, you sell without selling. I'm not going to pressure people to work with me. I'm going to offer. But it's the fact of the matter is that we have to stand on our offer, that we know that it is good. It is for the greater good of that person. So, and I think that's one of the things I was reading, Creating Money, the book I told y'all about, the purple book that came, I think it's upstairs. But it was talking about how one of the best ways to create money is to create something that people can pay you money for, that's going to enhance their lives, their business, and their relationships. So that could be you. It could be a course. It could be a done for you service. It could be something, but you're doing something for the greater good to enhance someone's life. So which means that their life in so many ways should be better when they leave you. And if it's not better, then did they actually make a choice to better themselves with the resources that you gave them? So thank y'all so much for that. I'm going to go to the definitely next question, and I'm going to start with Sasha. What was the biggest thing that you learned about yourself during your time in the program?
That's a great question. Ooh, okay. So I learned, especially in the beginning, that, you know, my money mindset needed to work. And I could say that it has improved significantly a lot over the last year. Because I know in the beginning, before I came in, I thought that, oh, nobody's gonna pay this much for this. Nobody's gonna pay, you know, people want stuff for free these days or for pennies on a dollar. They don't pay for value, you know. So so that kind of like made me charge much less than I should have been charging, you know, before. So it really made, when I came in the program, I was, you know, you always say you're doing God's work, you're doing God's work. And I always instilled that in my mind. And I said, no, I'm going to charge what I'm worth. You know, I'm not going to care whether I feel like, okay, people won't pay this for that. I'm going to attract my target audience and people that, you know, value what I do, and not feeling like, you know, insecure when people say, oh, this is too expensive. Like, okay, they're just not the right person, you know? And it's really just and also too, not taking things personal, because that's a huge one. Because, you know, I was like, my business is everything, blah, blah, blah. But not taking things personal, disassociating yourself from that so much, like being in your feelings, say, no, this is business, like, you know. So that has helped significantly. And even there's people that even said in the past how they weren't interested, and then they came back and become a client, or they come back and bought courses. So, you know, it just really has helped. Because before, I'm not gonna lie, I was, you know, I burned some bridges. But yeah, so really, it really just instilled my confidence in selling for the price that I'm worth as well. So yeah, that's what I learned.
That's amazing. Ernest?
Okay, so what I learned about myself was, and I'm trying to remember what you said, Jay, in that moment. It was like, you told us to do something, reach out to 50 people or something. And I was like, oh Lord. And Jay was like, if you don't stop with the pretend overwhelm. And so what I realized is that, you know, I was pretending, right? Like, you know, it's not necessarily a real sense of overwhelm. I don't even know. I haven't even like charted out what it looks like to execute on this task. So how would I know that I should be overwhelmed or not? It's sticker shock. But also pretending to be overwhelmed put me in a state of scarcity, a scarcity mindset. It put me in a state of like, I don't know if I can do this. And I had to learn how to start to trust myself to execute on things that were already possible. You know, it's like, I was working with a trainer and he told me to pick up a 75-pound weight. I said, man, that thing is 75 pounds, bro. He's like, okay, pick it up. But you just get overwhelmed with the idea. Like, that don't look like it's for me until somebody encourages you to try. And I think it made a huge difference for me in understanding, you know, how I respond to situations like that, but also like understanding what's possible for me.
Thank you. Yes. Overwhelmed, it's just made up. Because it's a choice. It's a choice to be overwhelmed, right? So the stress, you may go through a little stress, but it pressure you, challenge you to go to the next level. But overwhelmed is a choice because you willingly say yes to a whole bunch of stuff to avoid working on creating a life of ease. That's really all overwhelming is. I don't want to, you know, because sometimes a life of ease takes you out of a safety zone that you've created for yourself. It doesn't feel safe, right? So I just Thank y'all so much for that. Sharita, I'm gonna go to you for that same question. Do you remember the question?
Repeat the question for me.
So the question was, what was the biggest thing you learned about yourself?
The biggest thing I learned about myself, I wasn't as committed as I said I was. I was saying I was committed, but like Ernest, when you said go reach out to 50 people, you like, what? Like, well, how I'm supposed to do that? Like, you know, and I wasn't in the beginning. It was like, okay, I'm really not running a business for real. When I got in there, I was like, hold on, because this is stuff I just won't do it. You know, so that was for me. I was not really running a business. I wasn't, I guess you would say, to me, I was a fraud because I wasn't really, I was saying I wanted it. And then when you was like, when you put, you know, put the feet to the metal, you was like, okay, you got to do this, and this. I was like, okay, this is what it's like to really be a CEO and really run a business. Because we know CEO is like the title that everybody wants, but you really got to do that thing. So I would say that, yeah, I'm like, Ernest, look, I would create my own 𝘍𝘶𝗵 and for no reason though, you know, for no reason, when all we have to do is just do it. And whatever we want is going to be on the other side regardless. It's going to be there. We get to create what our end result is going to be. So yeah, honey.
That's good. That's good. It's for no reason. Melissa, same question. We get free today.
So for me, the biggest thing that I've learned about myself is just trusting the process. I think I had a lot of issues with that, and you know, I'm like, oh, I'm a trustworthy person, but like, you know, when I remember I got into the program and I was like, okay, I'm going to take off from here. You know, I can do this. And I'm like all in. Right. And then I started and I was like, I think I kind of freaked out and I was like, oh God, what did I just sign myself up for? And then when I had to hold myself like you and like with the ladies, it was like, there's accountability there, you know, and if you're not showing up. So I felt pressed. I was like, okay, I gotta get with it. But that's when I realized I was trying to control the process and to control like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. There was too much control. And it was the anxiety that was seeping out. I remember I was getting sick. I had like all kinds of health. I was just like, what is going on? And so when I finally let go and just do what you always say to do, create, do the DMs, do all the things. It's like, it's simple, right? But we make it complicated. It's like, you just got to get in your inbox, send the DMs, talk to people. You know, how are you going to, you know, be in the business? You don't want to talk to people. And I like talking to people, but I was like, I don't really want to do that like that, you know? So when I finally stopped and just did the work and created, had conversations, was a normal person, just reaching out. They didn't want it. I had people tell me, no, I'm not interested. And that's fine. But I just continued. And then again, when I stopped worrying and tried to control everything, that's when the honey book was like, huzzah, like there's the money. And I'm like, what? So it was amazing. So yeah, I had to let go of control. And that's something that for myself, like, that anxiety, I just really, really had to let go of it. That was keeping me locked up. And it was blocking the energy, blocking the money flow. And flow is currency. You got to let it flow. And I was over here just blocking it off because I was trying to be the one with the reins instead of just letting free let go. So.
I love that. I love that because we are conditioned to control the outcome. I got to know what it's going to look like before I see what it looks like. So we have to be very, very careful because entrepreneurship, I have said this, I guess I built my business upon this quote, which is entrepreneurship is a spiritual assignment. You don't know what's on the other side of your yes. When you become full-bodied in the yes, and you become full-bodied in the commitment that you're going to join another class, because when you start a business, you're no longer considered the middle class anymore. You go up a class. For some people, stay in the wanting of the desire to become, but they never make that journey up. So, but you have to buy your way out. So the first thing is you sold your time and now you're trying to buy it back. So this is probably the next question that's going to set this off, which is about your achievements. Because achievements are going to always come, right? It's going to always be there. But I want you to kind of think about what has been your greatest achievement. You could talk about, I mean, I would love for you to talk about the revenue part, because I think that's sometimes people want to hear about the money because it's a business coaching program. But also from a personality, embodiment, mindset, identity-wise, also, I want you to tie that into it as well. And Ernest, I'm gonna swing right back to you. What has been your greatest accomplishment in and or outside of the program since us?
So my greatest accomplishment, I think, came with my most recent contract. I had been pulling in contracts that added up to $3 to $5K a month, inconsistently, right? And so some months was flat, some months was 3 to 5, some months was flat again. A lot of feast and famine. And then more recently, I was introduced to Dr. Lonnie Johnson. I don't know if y'all familiar with Dr. Lonnie Johnson. He invented the Super Soaker. Okay, so he invented the Super Soaker. He decided he wanted to start a nonprofit. And one of the board members reached out to me to support them with their organizational development. And I locked in that contract. They have me as their executive director. And now my business is doing over 10K monthly consistently. And it's the beautiful thing about it is the impact that I'm able to have in community. I moved my family from Minnesota all the way to Georgia in the middle of the pandemic, moved out of a very community-based organization I was working in. I've always been focused on this world of organizational development and career advancement for people, executive guidance and things, but to be able to be in a new community, having this level of impact it's an incredible blessing. And I know that it would not have been possible without the wisdom that I gained from the experience I had.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And people don't know this, me and Ernest used to work together in corporate. So when I told y'all about like the whole Comcast thing and manpower and we used to work for the same folk and we went through it. But I know that when seeds are sown, connections grow. And look at him now. I had no idea in 2016, 2015 that we would be here. And so, but I thank God for that because God knows what he's doing when he connects people together. God knows. So this had to be done. This had to be done. So first of all, congratulations, Ernest, your family. I remember Minnesota, y'all moved to Georgia. That is absolutely amazing. And y'all just celebrate your anniversary. See?
Yeah, 12 years.
12 years.
Yes, indeed.
Amen. Amen.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? I'm telling you, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. So I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for y'all. Let me see. Sasha, you go next.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was having issues with the mute button. Okay, so the biggest milestones. Okay, oh, it's a lot. Okay, so definitely, I'm gonna say, first of all, people started taking me more seriously. Like when we did that shift in the beginning where my focus was gonna be, people started taking me much more seriously than before, much more. And people were watching me who I didn't even know were watching me from every platform, like, oh, and I just felt so much more people actually, okay, they actually respect what I do and they actually value what I do. And that's why, when you were, encouraging me to go up in price, it felt good. Even though at first, sometimes I would get nervous, but because of how people were respecting me and really like, oh, this is what you do, and even on my social media, before when I post, people always try to be contrary and all that stuff, but not as much anymore. So that, and also too, like being able to generate 10K months, this year, that was a huge milestone for me. Did not see that coming. And this month, it's a lot more, but we'll talk about that later because August ain't over yet. So just being able to generate that and really shift my mindset. And I tell you, sometimes I get in my feelings. Sometimes I, get nervous sometimes, and we talk, and then all of a sudden everything shifts, and then I just get all this money out of nowhere. There's been times where I took a nap and got like 2 clients, so just having a mindset shift. Of course, I'm working on my mindset every single day, my self-concept every single day, but it shifts so much within the last year. And, it's just like this year has been amazing. Like I just couldn't ask for more. And I'm like, this is the best thing I ever did was join this program. Having the accountability, the support, the guidance is just, I tell everybody, look, you need to be in this program.
Oh, I love it. And y'all, Sasha used to look, I don't know, coach. I don't know. I'm like, okay, Sasha, listen to me. And that's the thing, right? It's like, sometimes you need somebody to break that thing down for you. It's really beliefs that have, and I'm telling y'all, I have been into mindset. And I'm a therapist by trade. So I love studying people's brains. I always want to know, why do you think that way? And where did it come from? And even though I know the generalization that it comes from the environmental and internalizing those things and experiences and our perception of those experiences, because those things leak into businesses and projects, all of these things that we say we want to do, those belief systems do play out. Am I speaking? I hope I'm not speaking. But I wanted to just kind of highlight that many times we just need us to break it down and make it intangible so that we can start working on that. It's really just me. It's really just me need to let go of that belief that no longer serve me. And now I can walk into another place and create a new belief on what I know now. So I love that. I love that. Melissa, I want you to go next, and then after that, 𝘱𝑎.
Yes, so my greatest achievement has been just changing my mindset of money. You always say money is air, and makes me laugh, but I'm like, okay. So for me, the amount that I was charging for my websites, I was like, man, I already thought that was too much. So to think that what I'm charging now is like, and I guess I thought I wasn't like deserving of that, or, I want to help people and you just want to give. But it's like, okay, that's going to keep me broke if I think like that, right? You can't just give everything away and then I have any. Anyway, so my biggest thing has been my greatest achievement has been learning changing my mind as far as the way I think about money and generating the money. And that, because I think on my first, back in May, because I started with you in April, I believe. But when I was able to generate those first 3 sales, I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. I can do this. This is making more than like my 9 to 5. Like, what am I doing with my time? So anyway, I think just the fact that I've made right now for me, like up to 12,000 in sales, like that to me is mind blowing for someone that was doing stuff for $75, $150 a project. So yeah. So for me, my greatest achievement has been the way that I think about, and it's still ongoing. I'm still learning every single day. I'm trying to reprogram. I'm never going to stop learning. But yeah, so that's been my greatest achievement thus far in the program.
Amazing. Uh-oh. Where'd it
Okay,
go?
there I go. Okay. I would say I had some great achievements, but I would say my greatest achievement was, like Melissa, the money mindset, and knowing that I can produce the money quickly. But the only way to do that is by doing the activities, such as sending the emails and doing the, DM, so that you could continuously to have a flow. So before I got into the program, I was roughly doing about 3-4K a month. It was, I was pretty comfortable. I was okay with that. But then it was like, once I got in the program, I was like, okay, the more you start to talk to people, you get in front of people, it's like, it just started happening. So now I don't have a problem doing 10K, 15K months, so it's now that became my ceiling. So now it's like, okay, my husband always tell me, you gotta raise your quotient. So okay, so now that you know how to do the 5K, that's easy. So now you know how to do the 15K, that's easy. So now it's like, okay, now I know I'm okay. So the next go, okay, yeah, I can do that 25, 30K. So it's like like Melissa's like raising that awareness around my money mindset and what I thought about money, and that I deserve it. Like, that's the biggest thing, that I deserve it. What I put out is value. Yeah, it might be other people that do it, but you can't do it like me, so I know it's me, so that's what really helped. That's what helped me. The biggest win is really seeing the results even after the program and continuing on, because Coach Jay got this voice that when you doing stuff, you hear her talking. So you be like, Lord, Coach Jay done said this, she done said that. Oh Lord, she fussing again. Let me get myself together, So it's like that mama, you be like, Lord have mercy, here she go again. She going live again. She done did this again. Let me go ahead, get myself together. So yeah, it's even after the program, you just the coach that keeps on giving, and you got to keep on pushing. And we hear your voice. I think everybody agree with me. Every time we hear your voice every day.
That's why I said, when you finish with me, you kind of in my world forever. Like you kind of in there. So I totally, yes. I need y'all to hear me. And I've had people that come in my box just out of the blue, like alumni, they'll be like, okay, I'm just letting you know, I'm getting it together. I'm like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. So I get it. I see so much change in all of you. Like when y'all first came to me, y'all were like, oh, and then it's like, y'all are like, even your postures have changed. Like y'all sit straight up now. You ain't timid. You ain't heard this laugh. You just, it's literally like a different person. And I think that's the thing too. The last question, what is something that you want people to know if they're on the fence about investing in this program? And I'm going to whirl back around to Sharita, and then I'll go from there.
If you're on the fence, it's like, go ahead and do it. Like, it's because you're prolonging where you're supposed to be and where God desires you to be. Plus, like I said, I love community. I love the accountability. I love the, the connections that I made with everybody, so just do it. It's like, what else are you going to do if you don't do it? It's like, you got to get it done. You got to go to the next level. I say, just do it. Invest it. And stop saying you don't have the money. It's there. You got to find it. When she was like, okay, it's going to be this much. Look, I was like, look, husband, this is what we're going to be. This is what we going to do. This, as a married woman, I converse with my husband about, making investment and decisions that anybody is looking that's like me. But, and I have a very supportive spouse. So get them on board and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and show them the return in the investment, which is you know, and what you do and how you put into the program. I think most of the time, if we are on the fence, it's because we know we're not going to do the work. I don't think it's money. I ain't saying we, because I'm not like that no more. But if people are most of the time on the fence because they really don't want it. They really not going to do the work. So if you're on the fence, you have to make the decision.
So good. So good. Yes, Ernest.
So I actually think, you know, folks who are on the fence for the money reason, your decision was already made. You just waiting on the world around you to agree with your decision. And you got to stop waiting, because you're just wasting time. You're wasting time. You've already made a decision. You just need to follow through on the action that aligns with your decision so that you can get what you're intended to have. And that's it.
Ooh, Lord. That was good. That was good. That was good. Sasha?
I always say this, my biggest regret is not finding you sooner. So I wish that if I would have had you like in the beginning stages, my gosh, I'll be even better than I am now. So if you're on the fence, just do it. My thing is, we always bring up the money thing. Listen, if you have to call your man, okay, your mama, look, I want to work with this business coach. I want to get in this program. This can take my business to the next level. Like, why wouldn't they support you? So do what you have to do. Call your family members. If you have to call, listen, I had to do that too, like in the beginning. So call your family members to get on board with that. You know, whether you're married, single, but find, just like you guys find money for Beyonce tickets, find the money and just invest in yourself, invest in your business. Like, it's going to pay you back tenfold, trust me, So when you're doing 10K, 20K months, it's gonna be more than worth it. So just do it. Find the money. If it's a money issue, find the money and just do it, period.
Sure. Okay, Miss Melissa.
Yeah, so like everyone else said, just do it, just do it. For me, one of the things, Coach Jay, she says this too, like she knows each of us by our name. Like, I actually feel, she makes it to where I've seen other coaches. This is the only coaching program I've ever, been in, but like the other ones that I've seen from other friends, they were like, hundreds of people in there, but they don't know their names. They just know them, like, unless they like reach out for like, like a refund or something, but like, there's no way like they know all of their names. But Coach Jay, she's very personable. She will get to know you. She actually cares about you and your destiny. She'll say, you've said it many times, like, you don't play with people's destiny. So I knew when I talked to you, like, I was like, nah, this is it. This is going to be it. And you just got to be able to go all in and do the work. Listen to what she says. And if you listen to what she says and follow her formula, because she knows what she's doing, you will not regret it. You will get a return on your investment way bigger than you can imagine.
Thank y'all so much. This was good. This was so good. This was so good. And everyone out there that's watching live, if you want to contact any of these amazing CEOs, I don't say you run an online business, because that ain't what you're doing. You are running a company, right? So if you need services, coaching, branding, book writing, nonprofit consultations, get your health together, 𝘠𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏. They are experts. I would not put people on this thing with me if I know and wasn't confident in their ability to deliver. They're very knowledgeable. So I want you to be able to seek them out, connect with them, join their email list, whatever they got going on, and learn. So this is going to actually go on the YouTube channel. So I'm gonna leave this up. We're gonna leave this up for 24 hours, let people kind of catch up. But please reach out to them if y'all have any questions about their services. Of course, you can reach out to me if you want to learn more about the matriarch, but I wanted to give this to this opportunity for you all to look, learn, and see the evidence. Okay? And anybody can do this. This is not special. This is not they can do it. Anybody that put the work in can do this. No matter your circumstances. All right. To God be the glory. Thank y'all so much for being here. Have a beautiful rest of y'all's day. Thank y'all, Facebook. Y'all take care. Bye.